Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to this next guitar lesson. Thank you for coming back and check out the lesson. What we're going to be taking a look at today is the continuation of the Beautiful Guitar Chord series. So we're going to be taking a look at chords kind of based out of the key of D major, so kind of D major shaped chords. And there's a lot of really great sounding voicings within this lesson. A lot of kind of my favorite open position chord forms are in this lesson, so hopefully you'll get a lot of new inspiration out of this lesson and some really great new ideas for your chordal playing. So let's get into the lesson and get started with our first couple of D major forms. Alright guys, so we're going to get started with the one chord, the D major chord here. So start off with just the stock standard D major chord. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do a bar at the G, B, and high E strings with the pointer finger 2nd fret. And we're going to put the pinky at the 5th fret of the B. And we're going to end up with a D add 9 chord. That's the sound we're going to end up with. And we can have the D as the bass note or the A. So either one works. Okay, so that's the D add 9. The next chord, the second substitute, is a D add 9 but with an F sharp as the lowest note we hear. And here's what this is going to sound like. So this would transition really nicely to like an E minor chord or a G major chord. So here's the form. Pointer finger 2nd fret of the low E, and that's going to mute the A string right next to it, just kind of lightly touching it. And we're going to have an open D string, middle finger 2nd fret of the G, ring finger 3rd fret of the B, and then an open high E string. That's the chord we end up with. And again, that's like a D add 9 in first inversion with that F sharp in the bass. Great sounding chord. Okay, on to E minor now. The first shape that we're going to take a look at is just, most of you guys probably already know this shape. This is going to be the first substitute, and I'm going to show you something cool you can do with this shape. We're going to have an open low E string, pointer 2nd fret of the A, middle 2nd fret of the D, open G string, ring 2nd fret, or excuse me, ring 3rd fret of the B, pinky 3rd fret of the high E. Most of you guys probably know that shape. That's like an E minor 7. But something really cool you can do is just add the pinky up 2 frets. So it goes to the 5th fret of the high E. And that makes for like a minor 11 sound. Super cool. It's a little bit of a stretch, but just give that chord some time because it sounds really, really killer. Okay, next E minor chord is another E minor 7. It's going to be open low E string, pointer 2nd fret of the A, pinky 5th fret of the D, open G, middle 3rd fret of the B, and then an open high E string, and we get this. And that unison G note sounds so cool in that chord. Okay, so that's our E minor 7. Love that chord, always sounds really, really good. Okay, now to the 3 chord, the F sharp minor. This is one of my all-time favorite voicings. That's a F sharp minor 11 chord. Middle at the 2nd fret of the low E, that's going to mute the A string. Okay, ring 2nd fret of the D, pinky 2nd fret of the G, open B, and an open E string, high E that is. That's an F sharp minor 11. And that's movable too. So you can move that up to the 4th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret. So you can just kind of have fun experimenting, moving that around and see what kind of sounds you end up with. Okay, I was going to try to keep these all, basically all these shapes with open strings ringing out. But this next shape, I'm actually going to show you it as a bar chord because it's a really nice, useful shape, and I figured I'd throw this one in for you guys because I think you should be able to use this, and it's just a nice shape to have in your chord repertoire. So it's going to be a full 6-string bar with the pointer finger at the 2nd fret. Middle 4th fret of the A, ring 4th fret of the D, pinky 5th fret of the B. That gives us a minor 7. F sharp minor 7. So that's a great sounding minor 7 bar chord. Again, it's a minor 7, so we can move that up to B minor 7. So really killer sounding minor 7 bar chord there. Okay, on to the 4 chord, the G. So this one is going to be, I'm actually going to show you kind of the main shape, and I'm just going to show you some melody movement within the actual chord shape to give you a couple different options with this. So first substitute is basically this right here. We're going to have middle, 3rd fret of the low E, and that's going to mute the A string once again. Then we're going to have an open D, pointer 2nd fret of the G, ring 3rd fret of the B, pinky 3rd fret of the high E. And that gives us like a G sus2 chord. Okay, now the next option for this is to do a bar with your pointer finger across the G, B, and the high E, and keep that ring finger where it is. So there's going to be one note difference basically. Now we're going to have the F sharp as our highest note. Okay, now we can have the pinky go up to the 5th fret. So this is like a G sus2 right here. Now when we go to the bar to pointer finger, that gives us like a G major 9, no 3rd. But again, if all these names sound a little technical to you guys and you don't understand theory super well, it's no big deal. Just try to throw these chords, these chords in and see what they sound like, see where you like them. This is another one of my all-time favorite chords. I absolutely love the sound of this. So kind of 3 substitutes here, so we can have pinky off, pinky on, and then the pinky up at the 5th fret. So we get a lot of different options there. Okay, so you can hear how nice that chord sounds. So there's our G chord. Let's now move on to the 5 and the 6 chord, so the A major and then the B minor. Okay, so the 5 chord, the A major, we're going to take an A major add 9 basically. So here's the shape. We're going to have just kind of a muted low E, then an open A string, pointer at the 2nd fret of the D, pinky 4th fret of the G, middle 2nd fret of the B, and then an open high E. Okay, really pretty sounding chord. So that's the first substitute. Again, that's an A major with an add 9, okay? Now the next one is basically just going to be one big A power chord. It's going to sound like this. So we're going to have another open A string, and the pointer is going to bar at the 2nd fret of the D and the G, and then the pinky is going to bar at the 5th fret of the B and the high E, and we're going to end up with this. You actually can throw the low E in there if you want to. Okay, just depends on your taste. Okay, so really killer sounding chord there. Something you can also do if you want to, if you do a full 4-string bar with the pointer finger, you can kind of just experiment around with just basically taking random fingers off and on. So here, just taking the pinky, so it's just playing the high E, and then I can do like a pull off down there. So you can do all sorts of cool things. I'm not going to go over all the different options, but you can just kind of experiment around with just kind of playing different ideas just based around that main bar down there, and do different combinations of hammer-ons and pull-offs to see what kind of sounds you end up with. Okay, now the 6th chord, the B minor chord. Another one of my all-time favorite voicings, a B minor 11. Pointer, 2nd fret of the A, open D string. Middle, 2nd fret of the G, ring, 3rd fret of the B, and then an open high E. here that's just a killer voicing. Okay, so B minor 11 right there. And then our final voicing is kind of a cool sound. It's a little bit more interesting, but I think it sounds really nice. It's basically going to be a B minor add 11. Okay, so what we're going to have is pointer, 7th fret of the low E, middle is going to be 9 of the A, then an open D, then pinky is going to be at 11 of the G, then an open B and an open high E. And that's the sound we end up with. Okay, so really a killer chord. Okay, and again, that's like a B minor add 11. Okay, so now that you have those down, maybe try some different combinations of chords. So maybe start with the first chord that we've taken a look at, D minor, and then with the F sharp, or excuse me, that D major, with the add 9, then with the F sharp and the bass, then that G major 9, third, you can go to that B minor, and then the A, with then add 9 and then back to the D. So you got plenty of different options there that you could experiment around with. But yeah, I just recommend just doing a couple progressions there and taking it through a couple different sounds, see what you can kind of come up with, and hopefully this will add some new ideas and yeah, some new inspiration to kind of your chords in D. And as well, don't forget that you can capo all of these chords as well. So, you know, throw the capo on and work this through in a couple different keys, you know. If you capoed like at the 2nd fret and played these shapes, you'd be in the key of E, still playing D major kind of shape, or excuse me, D major shape ideas. You know, so throw the capo on some different areas and try some of these chords out, see what kind of sounds you end up with. But yeah, that kind of concludes this lesson. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys are thinking of these lessons in the comments section. And yeah, I will plan on seeing you all back here next week for the next lesson. Thanks so much, everyone.